I'm Isyander.
And I'm Koda.
And it is great to be back.
That it is.
Oh my god. We absolutely missed you guys, and today we're going to be kicking off the year with a new poll. We left y'all with the options, just to run it back. It's Oops All Ages. So
didn't we announce this poll?
Yeah, we did.
You guys got extra time as a Christmas present. Don't expect it.
I mean,
next poll.
I'm still counting the votes. You know the options. It's the age of apostasy, the age of strife, the age of dark imperium today, and what we're going to be talking about today, and the age of rebirth. There's a lot more than 4 ages. There's so many of them. But we're just going to start with these 4, and may the best, I was going to say man, but time period win.
May the best age win.
May the best age win.
Battle of the Ages.
It is a battle for the ages, yeah.
Battle for the ages. Battle of the ages for the ages.
Yep. Nope, you sound off
but it's not by the ages.
Picking your age in the comments and leaving a comment about it. While we were gone, though, celebrating the holidays, learning far too much about 3D printers in an extended period of time, GW decided to make a major move.
Yeah, I heard.
Everyone and their mother had a guess who the next Primarch would be.
Mm-hmm.
And some of you were correct, because we now have Fulgrim.
Yeah.
Each of the... This is very neat.
Snake Man.
Yeah, each of the 4 now has their champion in the 41st Millennium. And it's so cool. It's so cool. All of them have... What?
Fulgrim. I could just... I'm editing together a commercial in my head right now where it's like the lion and Gilliman reuniting on the battlefield, and then suddenly they see a wall of smoke, a wall of purple smoke, and out of it comes Fulgrim just going, I'm a snake. I'm a snake. I'm a Slytherin sneaky snake.
You've summed up this video in like a sentence, pretty much. Like, congratulations, man. That's pretty much exactly what's going to happen.
Oh, God. I miss Vine.
It's very cool. All of them have some of my favorite models. Chaos. Don't tell the Inquisition I said this. Chaos stays winning. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Magnus looks great. You already know I love Mortarion. You already know I love Angron's model.
I don't know their name, but I love the artist that changed his canon design.
Oh, it's so cool.
With one simple trick, G-Dub hated this man.
And Fulgrim is back as well in what I can only describe as, if you're into it levels of glory. He is so cool looking. And also, critically, now that he's back, if they really do decide to go for the whole grand live-action deal, Jonathan Bailey gets more work. So that's great. If not him, then... Oh, have you not seen... Okay, well, never mind. You won't get that. If not him, then we can play my favorite game whenever you need a horror villain, which is pick a Skarsgård. Any Skarsgård. Probably Bill. But, it could be Stellan.
I started watching Andor recently, and to be fair,
is he in that?
Yeah, he is. It was jarring because
sure, why not?
The last movie I saw him in was Dune, so I'm like, is that him?
No, that's Stellan. That's his dad.
Oh yeah.
No. Bill's It. And Nosferatu.
Yeah.
He's very good at like the physicality of freaky villains, and I'm not gonna lie. I think he could kill it as Fulgrim.
Yeah.
I think he could. Especially since...
Sorry, you said Nosferatu, and I just thought of that one brain rot.
Sure. I don't know. Have you seen the model?
Have
you seen the new model?
I have seen glimpses of it.
You've seen bits of it.
I remember Googling it, and you were in the room and just, stop!
Yeah. That's pretty much exactly what it is. It's very good. It's great visual storytelling because we don't exactly know what exactly he's going to do now that he's back.
He's going to do something.
But within the model, we've gotten a couple of hints.
First off, he's a snake.
And we've also gotten new art.
Have we?
Yes, and look, this is the best he's looked.
Oh, damn.
Look at him.
Okay, that one piece of fan art's really good, though.
Which one?
The one where
he
Gilliman
gets a shocking amount.
The one where
of
he's like super, super tall and Gilliman's standing there with the sword of flame going, I'm going to get him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that one piece of fan art's really good. I love that one.
Man, that fight ends well for Gilliman. We'll talk about that too. But I love this is so
really
cool.
Good.
It's so good. It's so cool looking. It feels...
They made him awfully horny.
This is...
Get it? Because the...
Oh, yeah, kind of. there's things I like, there's things I don't like, and we're going to get into that. And we're also going to get into what his appearance denotes, because there's a lot happening there. You kind of won't get it until we go over
I
it.
see. This is like if you're watching Arcane and you're not a fan of League, then things just go over your head. But if you are a fan of League, you go, oh, look, Vander, Warwick.
Yeah, exactly. It's like if you're watching Breaking Bad and you're not like a meth enthusiast, you will miss a couple of things. I love people describing watching Arcane and then playing League, like watching Breaking Bad and then
doing math.
Yeah, it's so funny and so accurate, despite the season looking so good.
Yeah, I was gonna say you keep talking trash about League, but then every time we mention League, you're like, it looks good this season.
It looks. Really
Do I
good.
go back?
Do
I go back? Is the debate?
No comment. But
it's okay. I'm having the same debate with Warframe in 1999.
That does also look very good.
It looks really good.
So yeah, there's a lot going on in this art and in this model that gives us, it tells us a lot about what he's been doing, which we've kind of known, and what he might do next, because that's kind of the most important thing. GW doesn't just release a Primarch whenever they need to schlep some plastic. I mean, they do, but they also show up when GW wants to schlep some paper with ink on it, and that's how they get me. That's the death mark that hovers over my head. Because I'm fairly good about holding out against the plastic. Mm-hmm. The books. I stand no chance.
You have to buy the books.
I stand no chance. It's not my fault. They have some of the best writers.
Had we need for any plastic, our wonderful fans have us.
I know.
So covered.
I know. I love it so much.
He's not on his shelf.
Huh? Oh, he will move. We're gonna do a whole studio thing at some point. Everyone in this family tree never just shows up and it's like, oh, neat model. Something big always happens. Stuff always gets shaken up. No Primarch has ever come and gone, except for Ferrus Manus. But that's the exception, not the rule. So get real comfy today as we cover the
life and times of
not
Fulgrim.
The full life and times.
No.
Just because Fulgrim's a lot.
Yeah.
Fulgrim's a lot, and he will still be getting his own episode. But we're going to be covering the Illuminator today and tomorrow, but not yesterday. Yesterday's its own episode. Yeah. Speaking of videos that are coming in the future, we are back at full tilt.
Are we?
Which means 2 episodes every single week. And if you haven't been seeing 2, that's because you're not on patreon.com/Isyander and Koda. It's cool. I'm not here to judge. Call me Oprah in this, John, because I'm just trying to give you more of what you already like. Bonus episodes every single week, live streams as well every month, access to the Discord with some of the most awesome people on planet Earth, as well as a whole bunch of other perks. We tend to do all kinds of fun stuff whenever we cross a milestone. I'm debating what to do once we cross a Custodes amount of patrons, which is looking more and more likely by the day. You guys really like holding me to task, so that's going to be fun. I'm not sure what that's going to look like, but that's coming soon, as well as a whole bunch of other stuff while helping us keep all these lights on. If you'd like that, for those of you already there, thank you very, very much. For those of you signing up as I speak, thank you as well. I saw my favorite little comment when somebody joined, because you can leave little comments, you can send messages, and we respond, though there's a lot of them. Mm-hmm. And I saw my favorite one, which was, I'm happy to join in and be yet another little candle in the studio. Like another bit of light. And I quite like that. And I would love to do an individual candle for each patron, but that'd be a fire hazard and a half.
That it would be.
There's a lot of them.
There is I don't think we have enough room in the studio for that.
It'd have to be its own separate room, and I'm dreading mentioning this because man, oh man. But we'll get into that. So let's slither into today's topic instead, starting with some hating. Because I'm not going to lie, I'm state-mandated hype man. You know how it is. If you ever want me to be unbiased about a faction, go watch the video about their opposing faction. The best example is the Space Wolf video.
And
it is what it is. Everyone has their favorite faction. I want to do them right because, man, oh man, being an Ultramarine fan can be rough sometimes. So
you have the most guys,
and I'm hated for it. Fairly, but still,
you have
you gotta. Okay, it's cool to say Gilman's cool nowadays. Mm-hmm. That was not the case a while ago, man.
That's
like, it's only because he's up and doing stuff now.
Can we please recapitate Ferrus Manus? Because I would love to see the weird, like, cyberpunky augmented legion.
We'll kind of get to that.
Oh, will we
There's-
now?
I don't know if he's going to get recapitated.
Oh
but
yeah, because Fulgrim and Ferrus Manus had a whole thing going on, didn't they?
Yeah.
The hammer sword
It's
stuff.
so good. It's so good, and I'm kind of mad I've never done an episode.
Is
on
that
either of
sword
them.
in the art he's holding the one?
We'll get to that. Yes. Yeah, he still keeps it. This isn't going to be overly negative. It's just like a little bit. This is a matter of preference here, because we now have two iterations of Fulgrim. One at the height of the heresy, right when he transformed. You know, like right when he stepped into becoming a demon. And I'm not going to lie, base card never declined on him. Up until that point, it was accepted at all establishments. He stayed moisturized, and honestly, he is the Primarch most likely to have people like, you know what Michael Jackson would do whenever he rolled up somewhere, where like women would go, ah, and like faint the whole nine. Fulgrim definitely
There's one
has that
clip I
going
love
on.
of Michael Jackson where he's doing a press tour in Japan, and every little
every
minute
movement? Yeah. Just like
motion
lights.
would just trigger all of the
cameras.
flashlight or the
Yep.
camera bulbs.
Yep, Michael was something else.
And he was having fun with it. He'd just like do like little things. He just move his.
Yep. There's another one I really love of Princess Di when she has like her face down and you can't really see it because she's got this wide brim hat going on. She always had looks going, and she just lifts her head for a moment, and the room gains like 10,000 lumens. Like every angle of her in that moment is photographed. It's there's something beyond
There's
star
so
power.
many camera bulbs happening. She might as well be under studio light.
There's something beyond star power that very few people have, and I'm positive Fulgrim would have had it.
Absolutely.
Especially at this point, you see his old model, old chronologically, it's only like a few years old, right? But like old in the timeline, it doesn't matter that he's half snake. He's elegant looking. He looks runway ready like no other Primarch. Look at him.
Yeah.
Look at him.
His whole point is he got the Emperor's hots. And
Technically, Lorgar got that.
Wait, really?
Lorgar's the one who looks the most like the Emperor, yes. It's why I never object whenever I see like hot Lorgar art. Because it's just the Emperor but bald. It's so funny. But yeah.
I thought Fulgrim. Okay.
No, if
What
I
was
remember
it his creativity that he got, his arts.
Well, we'll get to what he got from the Emperor Pride. At a later date. But like, look at him. Look at how, first of all, the one downside to this model, as you can tell, those are very big wings. Heaven help you if that model falls. Heaven
Those are shattering.
help you.
Those
if
are
this model falls.
shattering.
But in canon, if look at that, that's like awe-inspiring.
Yeah.
I don't care that I'm a loyalist. I see that. I'm slack-jawed.
I'm genuinely like, do I take a picture?
Like, look at that. Every weapon complements the fit. His armor goes perfectly into his scales. I mean, he's even, and you know the most interesting thing going on too here? I looked. I don't think I could find a single symbol of Slaanesh on this. Seriously. Like, it's kind of, you can see the symbol for his legion, but you can't see any symbols for,
Oh God, you can't.
right? I don't think so. Somebody,
Was he having a crisis of faith at this point?
no, it's just appearance. Look at the sheer amount of effort going, like the scale pattern being perfectly homogeneous
I'm too
with
good
his fit.
for the brands.
I mean, look, he's matching his claw arm to the armor. There is so much effort here going on in his appearance, like the hair flowing perfectly, either through wind or like 30 minutes in the bathroom every day. I don't care what you tell me.
I mean, it's Fulgrim, so probably.
Probably that one. Like the wings that are the exact like it reeks of him. It's perfection incarnate. He's the only person to become a demon and be refreshed about it. It's so fun. He's not even like, you know, the way the human body comes in very many different shapes and sizes, you know, and like everyone's got their own flavor going on, but like you have bodybuilders who no hate, but let's say can get so wide that doors become moderately challenging on a day-to-day basis.
You have to hit a.
You know, like a sideways shuffle.
Yeah.
You know, we've all seen like pro bodybuilders, people who are actually built like comic book superheroes. It's very cool until they meet a doorway, you know?
And then you have to like pull the same maneuver a dog with a large stick would.
And then you have the other end of the spectrum, like the canon strongest people on Earth who... to say dad bod isn't accurate. You know what I mean? But it's very. Have you played
Lumberjack build.
Thank you. I was going to struggle there for a while, and I was probably going to resort to using God of War, because I get it right on Thor. Like Thor is that exact level of like lumberjack build, and people were actually kind of mad that Thor wasn't hot because the MCU kind of ruined it.
He's a builder, of course. He's got the lumberjack build.
But yeah,
the MCU really did a number on people's perception of everything.
Okay, to be fair, they cast Chris Hemsworth. Like that's just not fair.
Yeah, that's what you're gonna get. But also, I'm pretty
fair.
sure he is that way. Just in most mythology.
Yeah, that
God, oh my God, it really has. The MCU has shifted so many people. I remember seeing people getting mad about Hades 2's designs because Hephaestus is in a wheelchair. Hephaestus canonically in a wheelchair.
Why
they're mad he's in a wheelchair.
Beyond me.
I don't know. I don't get it.
Like, you know, there's the lumberjack build. Like that's the canon strongest the human can get. And there's many examples of that. I think my favorite being the greatest argument you could make for nominative determinism, which is half Thor Bjornsson. Otherwise known as the Mountain in Game of Thrones.
Ah, that guy.
You know, the guy who can tug airplanes? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, you see, we need to cast a man named the Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
He's...
You get the closest living thing you have to a frost giant.
Yeah, exactly. And you see this with a lot of the Primarchs, where like you see Angron's strength, and it's very like, holy shit. Oh my God!
It's kind of like chimpanzee strength, where you can tell that thing is mostly muscle.
I can tell you are like there's 0% body fat.
Yeah,
it is all muscle to a concerning degree. But the thing I love about, and you can't tell with some of the other ones because you know armor. I love Magnus because Magnus. This isn't confirmed at all, but I will say it's very suspicious that the most magical of all the Primarchs, who could adjust how he looks whenever he wanted, like Dad, opted to look a lot like a bodybuilder. Critically, not functional muscle, just the like canon best looking combination of, you know, like I am a muscular guy. Yeah, exactly. Like, have you seen? I've shown you his model, right?
Yeah.
He looks like he could hit a
The
lat
fact
spread.
that the torso thing is optional and he's got like lats that he could flutter like that one guy.
Like he looks so it's so perfect.
Like why did you pick that?
He could be muscular. I'm not going to say he's not.
He is a Primarch, so it probably comes stock with the build,
but like it's funny that he went for the bodybuilder build. The reason I'm bringing this up is Fulgrim went for like the canon just the right amount of muscle.
He's less bodybuilder and more lithe.
Yeah, exactly. He's a kind of like muscly that most people think is hot, where it's like you're clearly strong. You're clearly strong, but you haven't gone like too far. You're not all muscle.
He's what people would call toned.
Yes, I've heard a lot of women describe it as like when they look at bodybuilders, they go, "Oh, you look hard." Which I mean, like you look at bodybuilders, like
they look hard.
You know, it's such a good way to describe.
Like you could poke that and you could come back with scratches.
It's very impressive what they do. Like I see the amount of weight like Coleman was moving back in the day. Oh my God,
it's frightening how much the human body can do when you train it right.
All of this to say, there's so much effort in everything that is external with this version of Fulgrim. He genuinely looks. He's choosing not to have any visible hair, except for atop his head, where it's flowing. He doesn't have a mustache. He doesn't have facial hair. He doesn't have arm hair. He's got 3 exposed. Well,
anytime this man says the words "twink death" back to back, it's only accompanied with a question mark.
Yeah, you've got it in one. This version of Fulgrim is so appearance motivated, and it tracks for him. The new model, though,
did he actually experience twink death?
He still has a face card, but it's closer to an Amex situation. Some establishments just won't take this. Just we don't accept this here. Normally I would be mad about this, and a lot of people kind of are, but it's a good way to show the passage of time and just how powerful the warp is. Because despite his perfectionism, despite his very clear focus on appearances, to the point that a lot of his brothers are like, sure, don't chip your nails. It's not like this is a war zone, but sure, why not?
Did it really take you 10 years in the bathroom to prepare for this battle?
Right. And despite all of that, he cannot resist just how withering being in the warp for that long can be to someone. He also did.
I see. He's experiencing twink death (warp)
and nuke to the face.
That would also do it.
Possibly, maybe. Have we covered Rylanor?
What's a man has smooth skin? You never seen it.
He's not.
Okay.
He's a little ghoulish. Have we covered
he
Rylanor?
did get hit. No.
Not at all.
No. Well, maybe once. It's not coming to brain.
But
then again, it's been 2 weeks.
Okay, we should. He's very cool. He's another case of a loyalist within a traitor legion. You know, like Dantioch going on, where the rest of them went with Dad, but
he's kind of off doing his own thing.
He's very cool. He's his own episode. Almost certainly he's his own episode. And he maybe, this really depends on GW, managed to wound his pride with a virus bomb to the noggin because he was real upset about all of the heresy. I'm not trying to underplay him. I'm just going to keep it a buck with you. We don't have too much on Fulgrim post-heresy. We only know, like, this happened at some point, and
he kind of disappeared right after.
I have faith in GW. They also sometimes forget things, and it'd chap my hide if they did, but at the end of the day, whoever's writing Fulgrim's comeback could just forget that whole Rylanor thing happened. And I really hope they remember. I really hope so. But if they don't, then it would feel very bad.
It detracts from his backstory a little bit.
So maybe the virus bomb has an effect on it. Maybe it didn't. We'll find out with time. But what we do know for a fact is he has been in service to She Who Thirsts, the Prince of Pleasure, for thousands of years. This is... The hedonic treadmill isn't accurate anymore. He ripped it off the floor and is using it as a back scratcher now. Like, it's just, it's at max all the time. Everything...
It's you know that treadmill that goes faster the faster you run on it until you reach equilibrium, but you never reach equilibrium?
Yeah.
It's that.
Like in Slaanesh's world, there are people who eat till they burst. You know, it's so metal, and I can't cover 90% of the things that happen there.
Well,
but you can picture
It's not just metal; it's a little bit of leather too.
Yeah, definitely. And Fulgrim has been bathed in this forever. So remember, and also, this 10,000 years for us, he was in the war,
which means it's 10,000.
Could be less, could be more. Probably is a lot more, but you remember how his scales are perfect. They matched his armor, which flowed perfect. Like this,
the armor flowed perfectly into scale.
It was hard to tell where what started. It all looked like perfect from tip to the top of his head. It was.
You were thinking of another word there, weren't you?
Shut up.
A different turn of phrase, weren't you?
Shut up. Like there's a lot of effort in all of that.
You could have gone with tip to tail, and it would have flowed really well anyway.
There's so much effort there. Nowadays, though, he has peeled skin conveniently where certain things would probably be. I don't know snake anatomy, but there's a Slaaneshi symbol there. Yeah, and
he's fallen apart a little bit. I see.
That's what he looks like now.
Yeah.
Again, not sure what that part is on a snake, especially when it's half man, but
It looks like he's wearing a suit in that area. That looks like less skin peel and more suit.
You can see the muscles underneath.
Never mind. Remind me not to look close. Does he have... He has the weird lobster claw on the end of his tail.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes, and he looks more like an eel or like a sea serpent now.
Yeah, let me absorb
like
this
he looks so leathery compared to what he used to be.
Yeah, he's stopped moisturizing.
I've zoomed in pictures. Don't worry, we'll get to that.
He's
right.
His routine fell apart.
Like he gave up all of his scaling. He looks a lot more like an eel. This could be because scales are kind of a pain to upkeep. It could also be because now there's nothing preventing him from feeling everything everywhere, which totally tracks.
All at once?
Yeah. It totally tracks for someone in his position and someone who's frankly been in as many positions as Fulgrim has been in. Look at him. He's gone from vanity. He's been in the realm of the Prince of Pleasure for thousands of years.
That's done a number on him.
Yeah, exactly. He's even traded the vanity muscles for what can only be described as like look at that. Look at
what's happening there.
Right.
What is going on?
Look at it.
he's become vascular, but with just one
He's
vein.
become like weird and wiry and like.
He traded vascularity in like a bunch of veins for just like one big vein.
Well, he wasn't vascular before. He was literally canon.
No, but most people go for vascularity of like, oh, I've got big veins, right? But he just went for the one big vein.
Look at old Fulgrim. He was just Hollywood hot.
Yeah, he just
that was just Zac Efron's arms at some point. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like pick whatever leading man for
I think
today.
that literally just looks like Liam Hemsworth's arms.
Yeah, at a certain point. Hugh Jackman at a certain point.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds at a certain point. That's just the arms they had at a certain point.
Stock, kind of beefy, hot Hollywood dude arms.
You are clearly strong. You are clearly musculature, but critically, you're not too much, you know? And now he's traded it in for, like you clearly are strong, but in a gross way.
You've gone for, you're strong, but...
Right? Like, look at him. His skin isn't the same tone that it used to be, you know?
No.
Now, this is painted, you know, but like you can see the choices they choose to make where he looks like bruised and his skin's darkened. His wings look far more like...
They've gone leathery. It looks like he's stopped moisturizing.
They look like before, like the huge wingspan he used to have was mostly for visual effect, you know? Kind of like what Magnus has going on where like, yeah, I'm sure he could use them. Let's be honest, he could also just fly. It's Magnus here. So of course he'd choose Technicolor wings.
He could probably step on air.
Right?
Let's be honest.
He's choosing these massive, awesome Technicolor looking wings to show off what he's capable of. Like I promise you now, an animated Magnus fight has him flapping them and casting 10 spells at once, and that's so
and
cool.
They're giving like computer case fan like RGB rainbow vomit the entire time.
I want to see a Magnus fight so bad, but like he's traded them in for something a lot closer.
The things that would get a Pokemon episode banned back in the day,
and now he's traded them in for things a lot closer to what his brothers have, where they're actually like, this is what he uses to take off, you know? It looks vaguely proportional to the rest of him. It looks like it'd at least get most of him off the ground.
Yeah.
You know? There's just a whole... They've also gotten sharper and more like weapons.
It looks like it looks like there were daggers on the ends of his wings back pre this, but they've integrated with him a little bit more. Like they've gotten sharper and more angular.
Exactly.
He's gotten more grungy.
Precisely. They also gave him multiple faces. I mean, like, look at the expressions. Look at the expressions. I really love the mask.
The mask looks cool. Good, but in this art right here specifically, he's giving Nosferatu.
I love... Why do you think I said Bill Skarsgård, baby?
I want you to bounce on it. Crazy style.
You are so good. Crazy I really like the bottom... I like the bottom right-hand cackling one the most. Yeah. Specifically because so many people have seen that before. The worst things you can't imagine happen to them. Like, it's so twisted. I love it. He's got purple bags under his eyes.
Yeah.
Do you remember what he used to look like?
Has let himself go.
I mean... I don't think it's a matter of letting yourself go. It is a matter of living like a rock star in the 80s, but now you're like 10,000 years old.
This guy has definitely bit the head off a bat.
Oh, certainly.
Yeah.
Oh, and look at the way the horns are, because before, like, you know...
Whoops, my apologies.
No, you're all good. Before you had, like, the hair flowing perfectly around the horns, so you couldn't really tell where what was.
And
look
now
at
it's
it
just
now.
Like they're hard,
like
jagged edges
jutting out
from
of
his skull.
Yeah. Yeah. There is something I do appreciate over the younger one, which is his armor seems to... It's still ornate, but he's definitely gotten an armor upgrade in my opinion. It looks a lot better. It looks a lot more functional than it used to be.
Yeah.
And it to me, it is perfect.
The Emperor's Children wing grew bigger.
Yeah, it also grew bigger. It's integrated better in this, in my opinion. To me, it shows exactly what it should, which is the excess of Slaanesh long term.
Yeah. He also went from like no Slaaneshi logos to like there's a bunch of like weird arcs and moons all over his pauldron.
They're everywhere.
Like the big like emerald looking thing at the corner of his pauldron coming down.
Worst one is still that one, but yeah.
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 Huh.
Yep. Like, a lot of people were expecting him to come back looking hot as ever. Like, a lot of people were expecting him to come back looking like Zoolander. which, of course, I brought a visual reference because I figured you'd appreciate that. It could have worked.
Instead of blue steel, it's purple steel.
Purple steel. It could have worked. But honestly, I'm very... Or, there's also the alternative where they expect him to come back effectively mogging
at the camera.
Because he was always hot. But I really like... I love this approach they went with because again, it is.
Have to
I'm staying on this one. We're gonna keep this up, and it's gonna stay up for as long as you're looking at it.
Put it away.
But I appreciate instead of going with the mogging version of Fulgrim, right? They took this guy who's very clearly ascribing to what like. You good? You got this. They took this guy who's very clearly ascribing to what like the definitional. If there are beauty standards, he's the instrument they use to measure them. You know what I mean? Like, he's just that hot. And they chose to show us what happens over an extended period of time.
Yeah.
Which is something you see when people, like, try to... When you don't age gracefully, things just... when people, like, try and fight aging really, really hard?
Yeah.
With excessive plastic surgery. And, like, they just wind up in a weird place, you know?
It's like... I actually heard it described pretty well when like I saw an image of like good plastic surgery being done of like most plastic surgeons try to make like you a 60-year-old look like you're 15 and there's the weird uncanny valley of things just aren't where they should be.
Yeah.
But like all you need to do is maybe like treat some of the wrinkles and
like a light touch with plastic surgery is really because
what you need.
I promise you now, there are people who you see on like TV who have it and you don't know it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's just you've aged spectacularly and you're 70.
Mm-hmm.
How? Well, let's take some guesses here. Low stress is probably one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Light work is also on that list somewhere.
Just a very,
maybe,
very
possibly,
light touch.
Maybe. But I appreciate that because it's Slaanesh, it's She Who Thirsts, it's excess. So in my mind, it only makes sense that he came back looking like a third bog twin. Like it's perfect that he came back looking like that. It's great. He has the kind of face where you know again the alternative version. You good? Were you not ready for the bogs? I had fun writing this one.
I was not ready for the box.
They are relevant. I mean, is that not what he looks like? He totally fits in. He could be using two of his arms for that.
I just love that image.
Oh, it's great. The double phone. Yeah. Fulgrim has that exact same kind of face where it looks like in perfect studio lighting, I'm certain you're hot, but we are now out in the sun. And
things are just kind of raw.
Things are shadowing weird.
Yeah.
You know? It's great. I like it. I can also... where do you land on it?
I think, honestly, I do... Like... God, I just referenced him, like, not 15 minutes ago, but singer bit head off bad on stage.
Oh, yeah.
What's his name?
Ozzy
Osbourne. Thank you. Sorry, sometimes my brain just, like, locks things behind a door. He looks like... You can look at Ozzy Osbourne back in the day, and he's okay. He looks normal, relatively.
Mm-hmm. Are you sure about that? No, it's just a bad picture. No, that's just a bad picture.
Like, he looks relatively normal, does he not?
Yeah.
For the era, the 60s,
that
70s.
reeks.
And then you look at him today and you're like, you definitely did way too much booger sugar back in the 80s.
Sure, go on.
And bit the head off a bat on stage.
Yeah. I mean, you see it and it fully tracks. I wouldn't say he has the same level of like...
No.
What Fulgrim's got going on?
He doesn't, but like Fulgrim also has been experiencing
a lot more than just
that.
Yeah.
So like that would do a number on you, and it's really cool to see he didn't come back like the same perfect, pristine, hot like Fulgrim.
I love Primarch's aging.
He came back like 10,000 ish, it gets weird in the warp, years of nothing but excess and like weird would do that to a person.
Yeah. I love the fact that post Guilliman, they've really tried to experiment with what time would do to a Primarch. Like, you now have the Lion, who looks a lot older, man. That hairline's struggling, you know? And now we have Fulgrim, who has been partying for thousands of years, and you can tell, you know? Speaking of partying for the last 1,000 years, that's kind of all he's been doing.
Really?
Other than not moisturizing in the interim, not that much. He's one of those Primarchs where they did a lot during and before the heresy.
But then he retreated to the warp and started living like a rock star for how many countless thousands of years?
I'm trying so hard to think of this, but there's literally no other way to describe what he's been up to other than edging for thousands of years. He abandoned his legion over this. Like the thousand, they are shattered. The Emperor's children are shattered. The only thing that keeps them together is loyalty to chaos. That's it. Dad's gone. He's off partying. Yes?
Sorry, I'm just imagining like the apocalyptic emotions the Emperor's children are feeling when they realize that Dad's just in the Goon Cave.
Just beat it, beat it, beat it, beat it. I can't sing anymore, but you get the beat.
He's hosting his own personal ditty parties.
Well,
at least he's not inflicting it upon. Well, it probably is. But
kind of. We'll probably get more. We'll probably get more.
Put that thought away.
We'll probably get more as we go. But what we do know is, like, he's gotten bored. He's recreated his entire childhood and gone through it until he got bored, and then just slaughtered everyone who was present. He just kidnapped enough people to staff a planet and redo his childhood. That was a thing.
He had a WandaVision?
Yeah.
He did a WandaVision?
Dude, his planet is the most metal sounding. His oceans go from being verdant and filled with life to pomegranate juice, to tears, to wine. Like, it's excess. His ocean.
I guess when your patron is the Prince of Pleasure, that had just happened.
His forests roil like waves. It's such a tenuous world with the laws of physics that it's rumored that it's not even a real planet. It's just a shadow cast on a dying sun.
Okay.
They're called the Gardens of Hell.
I was gonna say, is this just Fulgrim's throne world at this point, where it's just bending to his random whim?
Yeah, pretty much. It was a gift given to him by Slaanesh because...
Oh yeah, of course it is.
And I mean this with all due disrespect. Dog walking Guilliman. He beat Guilliman so effectively. I need you to listen. I need you to hear what I'm about to say. He beat Guilliman so badly, it bored him.
What did he do to him?
He laments this. He sits there bored about it. Like, I need you to deep this. Fulgrim has sat in the warp, bored and musing about how disappointed he was by his first fight against Guilliman because there's no drama.
That's so funny.
There's no grudges. There's no grand acts. There's no penultimate battles.
It was just, he came after me, I beat him.
They kind of didn't bump into each other much. Like,
where's the pomp and circumstance, brother?
They didn't bump into each other too much because, before the heresy, there's a whole crusade going on, and they had very different jobs. So some brothers genuinely just didn't meet that often, So there's no, build-up of malice, no narrative tension. Like Fulgrim's had this before. He's killed one of his brothers before. He's had this level of emotionality coming to a head when he beat the weak neck department in a single blow, He's experienced this. But the second time, he murdered a brother in cold blood. His own kin, by the way. And this isn't just, standard issue fratricide. It's, two titans from an age gone by fighting surrounded by their sons for hours at a time, one of them there to bring a traitor to justice for everything he's done, from shattering the Imperium to the fratricide I mentioned before, to the perversion of its symbols of old, because he's running around taking people to flay in a ship called the Emperor's Pride. That's just a thing emblazoned on it still.
That is funny.
A act that revolts Guilliman to his core, and he can't do anything to stop it, as Fulgrim just lands a final blow on his neck so fast that Guilliman is reduced to the fetal position, asking why and how.
You're kidding, right?
I'm not.
He literally...
Fulgrim beat him so badly.
He started hitting the
Like, you must understand, Guilliman walked in there very confident. He's like, his own sons were like, hey, don't do that. That's a demon. And he was like, no.
No,
I've
that's
got
just
this.
my brother. I got him.
I've got this. And they're like, no. This isn't the tactical best decision. You just want to kill him. Which, fair, I get it. He's terrible. But, like, we can help you. To which Guilliman goes, fine, I'll ask for help if I need it. 5 minutes into the battle, he's asking for help.
Help.
Like, and the way he does it too is so unsatisfying, because he just mid-fight looks at Guilliman and sees a wound he sustained during the heresy from a super duper cursed weapon we're not even going to talk about, and he just goes, neat, reopens the wound using one of his many blades. Yup.
Okay.
And all of that is not dramatic enough for him. All of that, like the avenging sun arriving and him as a snake with multiple arms, just dodging and weaving everything and finding his one weak spot,
is boring.
He's so Slaaneshi.
This is funny.
Do you see why he now that he's back, Guilliman didn't age because he was in stasis the entire time. He's going gray. Mm-hmm. Guilliman is going gray about this, because there are plenty of theories about what Fulgrim's return means for everything, because Primarchs do a lot. When Guilliman came back, he kind of rebuilt the Imperium and put it back on a track. It's now, moving, kind of, very slowly. The Lion returned during the Arcs of Omen, of all things, when Chaos was building ships bigger than Blackstone fortresses. And it's always a big event. It's never ever, Primarch's back, hello, nice to meet you, right? What Fulgrim will do when he comes back is still unknown for now, but it's almost certainly going to involve bodying Guilliman.
He's going to unleash those videos where it's like some random podcast's information with subway surfers below it upon the Ultramarines, and watch as they just become absorbed in it.
We've had two good guys back to back, and so it's obvious we needed some bad guys. This is Guilliman's 13th reason why. And it's not just
13th Legion why.
Just reason.
It's funny because he's
and it's not just Guilliman either, because the Eldar are going to absolutely lose it, because Fulgrim has arrived like salt in a wound. Not only because he's the champion of Slaanesh, who the Eldar rightfully hate.
Yeah.
There's a reason that they are the reason that the Eldar are missing 8 and 10.
There was 9 and 10.
A lot.
You keep moving the numbers around.
A lot.
Let's get a hard scale.
More than 7, less than 10.
A lot.
Yes. A lot of Eldar died to Slaanesh. And that is already enough to rile them up. But you saw a lot of the weapons that he was wielding, right? And you recognize one of them already. Good job. There's no way you recognize the other sword he was wielding. Because I know we have not covered the crone swords.
You've mentioned them in relation to the...
Oh my God, we might have. Do you remember what the crone swords are?
Something related to reviving their gods, if I remember correctly.
Yep, exactly. There are 5 of them, and if you assemble all 5, theoretically, with their powers combined, you can summon a Megazord, i.e. their new god. It's great. It is their best bet of escaping Slaanesh's chokehold, and I use those words carefully. These swords we didn't cover what they are, we just covered what they can do. They are carved from the finger bones of their goddess of fate itself. And
that is a very...
Oh, we aren't even done yet. They were carved off by their god of war when she tricked him into doing that so she could drink from the wisdom that flows within her veins. In my opinion, a nosebleed could have worked too.
This is incredibly metal.
It's so cool, right? The swords...
I wasn't expecting that from the Eldar of all people, but then again, I guess they did birth Slaanesh.
Yep. And so these swords were carved out of those finger bones, and when given to the correct wielder, they now have command over life and death.
What does that mean when Fulgrim has them? Or one of them?
We're not sure, but we've seen one of them can help revive Guilliman.
Is that how Guilliman didn't die?
Have we not covered that the Eldar had.
Oh no, yeah, they got him with a crone sword, and that's how they revived him. The
a
Eldar
lot
revived
of things got him, but you get the long and short of it. Yes, each of these are kept in very, very serious hands for obvious reasons. Yvraine wields one. Mm-hmm. You saw her, right? Which she wields in a crusade to birth their new god. The other one is wielded by the incarnation of this new god. Just a psychic hurricane that drains life from everything around it and feels like inevitable doom is where they choose to keep the second one. The third one is in a prince's hands, which is really cool. He's probably going to get his own episode because he's definitely going to get a refresh any second now, so we're not really going to talk about him. And the other is in the Vizarch's hands, which is an ex-priest of their god of war, and he looks the part.
So that's 4 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And the 5th one is in the hands...
You're asking a very good question.
Of Fulgrim.
Until recently.
Okay.
We covered this, actually. It's a trick question. You won't remember this because this was a year and a half ago.
Oh, yeah, I won't remember this.
Remember when we covered in Slaanesh's realm and Patreon? And how, at the very centers, that's where they are?
Yeah.
And how there's a crone sword there?
And that a Grey Knight may or may not have made it in?
Maybe not. But we do know that that's where the crone sword was kept for the longest time, in like either their kitchen drawer, which very Slaanesh, or their toy box, which equally Slaanesh. And it effectively...
Toy box.
Yeah, it effectively stopped the Eldar story in its tracks.
Because how are they going to get that thing back?
It was a suicide mission.
Yeah.
They were asking a dying race to do a suicide mission. It just was not going to work out at all. Until this model, because Fulgrim now has it.
Did Fulgrim steal it from the kitchen drawer / toy box?
We're not sure how he got this.
Okay.
Maybe Slaanesh gifted it to him. It's possible.
Aw.
He's good at his job. He just doesn't do his job very often.
Well, if it's from the kitchen drawer, then like aw. But if it's from the toy box, then
both are very Slaanesh. Is my answer. Maybe
it's used.
Maybe Fulgrim took it. We're not sure, but what we do know is it is a weapon capable of properly damning Slaanesh, and it is the Eldar's last hopes. And it's now within one of the most sick people's hands in the entire setting. It's dirty work.
Well, this is cool because it means the Eldar story might finally progress.
It's gone from outright impossible to probably impossible. Without the Imperium's direct help, anyway.
Which means we see more... Oh, God. Are they maneuvering for what I thought might be happening?
Maybe.
People joining up just to beat chaos?
That could be something. We don't know.
Congratulations, guys. Your favorite IP...
Did you bring a prop for this?
Is becoming my favorite IP.
Oh, yes. The problem last time. They're also using this to reinforce a new vibe there, or it's a vibe that he's had, but they're really trying to build on it, which is he's a bit like General Grievous, where he takes weapons as trophies from opponent of note or interest. Mm-hmm. So that's how he has the sword forged.
He also gets choked out but with the Force frequently.
Yeah, that too. That's how he has the sword forged for him by the Headless Horseman to this day, you know?
Yeah. Sorry for that.
No, you're all good. And I'm sure we're going to see more out of him because he has a whole menagerie of weapons that are just known as the Blades of the Phoenician collectively. And we've seen the good guys get some of the Emperor's kit, like Gilman got a sword, the Lion got a shield. I'm sure he's going to get other stuff too, but that is something that they're trying to work on and I quite like. The second point, though, the other person who's going to be real chapped that he's back is his brother, Gilliman.
Yep.
Because
the last time they were chatting or fighting went not well.
A lot of it's mostly because Fulgrim's great with those blades. In real life, back before the heresy, his combat style was seen as less of like a wartime tactic and more of a very, very carefully practiced dance. Each battle was a performance, which, Jesus, I wonder how he fell for Slaanesh. Each kill was a note in a symphony he was orchestrating, and this is a performance Gilliman has received before.
God, I wonder how he fell for Slaanesh.
It's so unpleasant. And after Ascension, he's got all kinds of new powers, least of all are the forearms he can now use to blend you with. He's a menace. And it's genuinely not a stretch to say he's the best duelist out of all of his brothers, having a total of 2 confirmed kills against Primarchs.
Gilliman and Ferris Panis, right?
Mm-hmm. I'd say that as a Gilliman fan. Technically, he didn't die, but it required help from the Eldar's new project god and the most brilliant mind in the Mechanicus currently. And without those two, he was pretty much dead. He was interred in a tomb like an imperial saint. Like, he was dead. He was buried. He was finished.
Proper done.
Yeah, he had a whole temple. He had a whole temple. You don't do that for people who are living. He's gone. So at most, Fulgrim has 2 confirmed kills. I will accept 1.5.
2.
I will accept 1.5.
2.
Which puts the Primarch KD ratios at Fulgrim at 2, 1.5 to 0. Dorn at 1 for now. Rabute Guilliman
1,
0 to 1.
0.
Horus 1 to 1. The God Emperor of Mankind 1 to 1. Conrad Kurz 5,672 to 1. And the only human to have ever made it onto this list, Emshen 1 to 1. The human that killed Kurz. Yep. An honorable mention goes to Kabanda at 0.5 to... It's hard to tell. Demons kind of respawn, so... I'll say 1, to 1. He almost killed Sanguinius. Yeah.
Okay.
Have we not covered that?
No.
I love 40k so much. We'll get to it. I swear we have, because...
No.
He's part of the reason why the Blood Angels get so angry. It's a really bad beating for Sanguinius. One of the few he's ever received. Yeah.
Is this one that started either the...
That's for the Sanguinius episode.
Okay.
And the exact second he found out this, the guy at the top of the leaderboard, he immediately got back to work, possessing the Archconsul of Macragge and gifting Guilliman a crown of glories meant to tempt and corrupt him on the spot. This is like 5 minutes after he got up.
This is just, wait, I'm at the top of the leaderboard? Let's increase that gap.
Let's get that to 3-0, baby. Let's get that to 3-0.
Just immediately can't cast like a taunt on...
Yep. Unfortunately, you can't corrupt whole wheat bran, so it went really, really, really poorly. But it still gave us a great scene where he gloats over his brother and welcomes him to the new Imperium. An Imperium he promises to fill with temptations uncountable and not rest until Guilliman questions any and every sensation, lest he falls into the excess and joins him. Yeah.
So his plan is to get Guilliman into S&M?
Yeah, it's so funny, and twice as funny when you consider this is the most energetic we've seen him. Like, when he learns the news, he's pouting in a room described as an endless banquet of souls. And when he hears the news, he only pouts harder when the imp tells him. Just goes, oh. Before managing to get himself off of his velvet throne and vow to the god of depravity to not just defeat Guilliman, because that would be boring, we've done that before, but to cause his eternal fall from grace.
So he's trying to convert him, not kill him.
He's so foul. This
is so funny.
And I'm not even covering all of it. Fulgrim's done so many terrible things. Fulgrim has genuinely had other traitor marines see him in his prime and go, ick, I would rather die than fight by your side.
Slaaneshi.
He's awful.
He's overdone everything you can think possible.
Yep.
Like,
he has sucked a Terminator out of its armor before and held it together. Yeah.
In what way? Yes, is the answer, I figure.
A very brutal and sad way that, again, made the traitor marines on his side go, I think I'd rather die than fight by you. I think I'd rather die than fight by your side. So I'm just going to detonate this virus bomb. Yeah. Him going after Guilliman is a mathlete being hunted by Deathstroke. It's a foregone conclusion wrapped up in a sentence full of double entendres. I will leave you to think on that one. Like, his fighting ability is almost irrelevant. It's so unfair for him. Guilliman has to duct tape the whole Imperium together as what's going through what can only be described as a death rattle. The entire time, everyone, including the Imperium, is against the Imperium, and then out of nowhere, you have a bored combat cobra slithering out of a goon cave at Mock Jesus just to get him and run the one again, because last time he ran the one, it was boring.
And he doesn't even want to just run the one. He wants to specifically
send you to my version of hot hell with latex and vivichide. That's where he's at. It's so bad. He's so terrible. Like, there's no other god he could have gone for save for Slaanesh. There's literally no other god. Like, the chains and whips excite me, Department of Hell, is where he's trying to drag the most boring Excel spreadsheet-minded Primarch of all of them.
He's gonna look at the pricing on that, and that's gonna be his first thing. It's like, this is too expensive. What do you mean you're trying to get me into this?
The guy who, to give you a sense of scale, the Lion came back, and he came back with a newfound sense of maturity and humility and a calm and even-tempered mind. He is no longer the same animal that would just get you if you questioned him. Guilliman came back with jokes. Like, that's it. Mm-hmm. That's all.
And a new girlfriend.
Maybe. But yeah, he came back with jokes. That's his character development. I'll be fair, he did always have a sense of humor, but it is funny.
Did he?
Yeah, no, he partied with Space Wolves.
You mean the Space Wolves partied with him?
He was there. He still cut a mean rug, and I used that.
I'd imagine Guilliman dances like your dad drunk off 5 glasses of wine at your like wedding after party.
Yeah, or he's perfectly on beat. There's no in between. But yes, it's so rough for Guilliman right now. He's gonna need help, and either the way this is gonna shake out, it's my guess, and it's what a lot of people seem to be guessing right now, is the Eldar will see him being assaulted and go, well, that one in the zoo exhibit at least speaks what we speak. Let's send some help his way. Or wait, they're trying to kill Guilliman with what?
Get it!
Go get the sword at least. He can die, but get the 5th one, please. Which would be good, would be fun. That would go too well for the Eldar, in my opinion. So I doubt that's going to happen.
Yeah, it would progress the Eldar story, so G-Dub's not going to do it.
Yeah, unless they want to delete Slaanesh, which they've already tried once. So maybe. The second option for the Guilliman needs help, because I'm going to keep it a buck with you, he definitely needs help, is
the Lion shows up, and
this is the moment I've been waiting for, because the Lion knows Guilliman's around, but Guilliman doesn't know the Lion's around.
Okay, that's the Dark Angels MO. That makes sense. No, I question
and
that.
And also, think about it this way. Guilliman gets a report. Sir, we've spotted the Lion. He arrived from a forest that spawned in the middle of a battlefield and bashed in Angron's head with the Emperor's shield.
Sheen, this is the 5th time this week you've shown off evidence of the Lion in class.
Exactly. He's shredding it. Sure. Do you know how many Primarch spottings? Think about how many times you've seen Bigfoot. And he's not like a deity with command over something that could save us all from hell.
Well, maybe. We don't know. Have you ever met Bigfoot?
It would be very cool if he was half the man the Lion was. But I doubt it for several reasons.
What if Bigfoot is the Lion, extending beyond the intellectual property of Warhammer 40k into our universe?
Promise you now, Guilliman gets blurry photos of Primarch spottings, and he just has to go, sure. Why not? Like a particularly tall preacher. We spotted Lorgar, sir.
Even though the Space Marines have like supremely precise aim and could probably get perfectly stabilized footage, blurry. It's always blurry and shaky cam, and it's just the worst footage you've ever seen.
I could so see the Lion deliberately having an effect like that.
I've seen somebody use a tool to stabilize that one footage we have, like that one piece of footage, the classic piece of footage of Bigfoot, and it just looks like a guy.
I promise you now, the Lion from a distance just looks like a guy with a shield. Like, I mean, I'm going to be honest. A lion sighting, like filmed through a phone, is the equivalent of a particularly tall guy bashing in like a demon. Yeah. It's impressive, but sure, you know.
All I can think of is just like a random ultramarine pogging at the Lion and trying to shoot video of him with an iPhone version 1. And it just like...
shaky. Because they're fangirling. So the Lion...
they're fangirling. They're going...
Or worse, he's getting like the Kato Sicarius' live reaction, but it's just the helmet. He can't see what's going on because he turned on the wrong camera. So it's just like hearing the voice, but not, it's just the same expression the entire time, as apparently the lion's doing cool stuff.
You just hear pogging sounds, but see no pogging face.
Yeah, so the lion does know, but Guilliman critically doesn't right now. And what is a better way to bury old hatchets than while defending somebody from lodging new hatchets into you? Plus,
Well, many things more than hatchets into you, but
a lot more things.
a lot more
yeah.
things.
And so I could very easily see a reality where this is how these two get to interact, especially with the character development they've gone through. They've become more human than I think they've been at any other time period. On top of that, Dad's been handing out gifts in a way that feels rather strategic. You know? It's not an accident that Guilliman got the Emperor's sword, his blade, you know? The image, you know, the quintessential shot of the Emperor building the Imperium has him hoisting that thing above his head with it ablaze. And you can see the parallels with the, you know, the rebirth of Rabuti Guilliman and him doing the exact same thing. That's a deliberate choice to give him that, because it's the kind of thing where you see it, you go, yeah, you're supposed to be in charge.
yeah.
You're supposed to be in charge. You're supposed to be in charge.
I can also see, like, considering the lion got his shield and he got his sword,
That's
a
what I'm
little bit of,
talking
like, symbolism to this of, like, hey, Guilliman, you're too face down into your spreadsheets. Get up and be aggressive. You need to be the leader that the Imperium needs. And to the lion, hey, bud,
Chill.
You're coming off a little strong right now. Chill.
Yeah. And so, like, that is the most likely person who's going to come and save him, while critically not giving the Eldar any more. Like, you know that one image of Future reading the book Why Women Deserve Less, and it's like 5 times, like, it's a huge book. It's just GW reading Why Eldar Deserve Less. Like, there's almost no shot they get that sword. I don't mean to be a hater. I just doubt it. Like, the Eldar got the most...
Reading Why Eldar Deserve Less on the train and shaking my head the whole time just to let everyone else on the train know that I actually do like the Space Elves.
Yeah.
Just to let Pancreas know that he's okay in my book.
There is also the possibility that the Eldar do show up to try and help. The lion does show up to help. And I don't think he's going to take kindly to seeing them. So that could be the thing that keeps him from getting that sword.
Yeah, it might take Guilliman a lot of explaining to the lion of, like, listen,
Stop.
These guys are cool.
Chill.
They brought me back.
Send them all to Gitmo, bro. Jesus.
Please calm down.
You know, there's an option for another Primarch to come in and save him. Maybe, though I think this is fully delusional.
It'd be funny if Ferrus Manus came back.
No, certainly not.
Oh, that's a shame. What if it was Ferrus Manus Futurama style, where it's just his head in a jar?
No, he's super dead. No, he's one of the few, like, super dead Primarchs.
That's a shame. That'd be funny.
Yeah. Some lunatics think that Alfarius
Omegon,
are going to arrive to save Guilliman at the nick of time.
using their unique skills and wielding the Emperor's...
It could be really cool. All I know is at the end of the day, I am over the moon about this title match. The Avenging Sun versus the Emperor's Pride, the Illuminator, the Phoenician. He has so many fun titles. The Perfect. Come on.
I mean, that one just fits him the best.
It's
with
so good.
what he's up to. Well, maybe not what he's up to now, but what he was up to.
It's perfect to some people. That's the problem. I only have one problem with this, and that is, as I'm sure you can tell if you've made it this far, it's very Guilliman focused.
Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, he was given the sword, and he is
very
currently
cool.
ruling the Imperium. I think he's become not the main character of the Imperium, but he's being groomed to be Emperor 2. Well, I guess Sanguinius was supposed to be Emperor 2, so Emperor 3?
Mm-hmm. It's
Revenge of the Emperor?
This whole Millennium has been very Guilliman focused, and I can see how that's particularly exhausting. You know, if the Plague Wars didn't happen and he didn't duke it out with Mortarion and burn Nurgle's garden in the process, I wouldn't mind as much, you know? Or, alternatively, if Fulgrim didn't immediately beeline it straight for him, I wouldn't mind as much, but it feels very like, this is era Guilliman, which...
Yeah...
is a very fair criticism.
Honestly, it would have been cooler if Fulgrim started going after the lion, like tempting him to come back to his old brutal ways. Like, hey, come on, do the paranoid thing, but more.
Mm-hmm. Or, you know, Fulgrim just being set up more and more to take command of his legion again, or deal with that weird clone that is almost exactly him, to the point where several of his
Yeah, but that's
sons-
in Trazen's vault. It's basically been like fridged.
Stuff leaves.
Okay.
And that one is a very big deal. That one is a very big deal.
Yeah, because it's so significant. It's like an exact clone, including the weird warpy stuff of Fulgrim.
And
That's
some of his
too
sons
weird.
have wept when they were around him and said, "Oh my God, you're back, Dad." So like some of the Emperor's children don't necessarily want to be in chaos.
They just followed
Dad,
Yeah.
who then abandoned them to
For a
go
goon
beat
cave.
it. Yeah. So that's a potential storyline that I'm kind of sad they don't seem to be looking at all right now. There's also the possibility. I would have liked it. I mean, who knows? Maybe next year we'll get another Primarch to help even this out. But I'm kind of bummed he's not going after like Dorn or the Khan, because those would have been my guesses.
Well, Dorn is questionably alive, and the Khan is... the Khan makes sense.
The Khan totally makes sense. And when you look at the two of them, they're also very... Dorn has the magic pain glove, like he's very close to being Slaanesh. And the only reason he doesn't is because he's so discipline-minded. He's so just do it.
Well, he's also so like hard tack that...
It's kind of impossible to get him into the finer things. Like, everything Slaanesh does. If we could call that the finer things.
The finer things. There's some big air quotes on that right there.
And the Khan is currently just raging through the Webway.
As he does.
I'm kind of bummed that he didn't come with any hints to those two, because those are the ones I would have liked to see duke it out. But at the end of the day, it has been like 2 weeks, so we don't know. This is all speculation.
Yeah.
No matter what, I am hyped, but I got to turn it over to you. What do you think?
I think it's cool that he's come back, and like I said earlier, I like the design change because it literally shows how much excess really takes a toll on you over time.
You can't overdo it forever, dude.
No, you'll eventually like hit a point where it hits you all at once.
Yep.
Or it just keeps hitting you, and it hits you, and it continues to hit you, and you are now in your 40s, and you look like Nosferatu.
Yeah, no, pretty much. That's it's so good. It's so good. I'm so excited. You did tell us, though, that there is yet more mail.
There is yet more mail.
So we're going to do a light unboxing, and
I didn't get to post.
we can just move
until
this
after
off.
the holidays ended.
No, that's perfectly fine. So what's in the box?
It is a lot of mail. I did.
Is it? Did you consolidate it into?
I usually consolidate it because
box?
I open it at the PO box, so I have a hint as to what is going on here.
Oh, okay. Keep your gift a surprise.
That is a note for the big green thing.
The big green
Yes,
thing.
the big green bag that is in here.
Okay,
This is all consolidated into one.
Okay, well you're gonna have to
I'm gonna decipher
we
this
should
for
get
you.
an above us camera for these segments, because
should.
mail keeps coming in.
Hold on. I think things have left this envelope into the broader bag.
Okay. I see stationery. We're off to a great start. God, I'm such a nerd.
There's a very funny note for you, related to that.
I hear Koda.
Though they did reverse us.
Oh,
yeah, I think
you hear me talk all the time about the G2, but I think these are superior from Connor. I will genuinely give these a try, and if they are better, you may have changed the pen game for me. Okay,
Let's see. These ones were notes for
stationery
for that.
So I am excited to genuinely try those out. I have my 2 pens I have used since I was in middle school. So
to be fair, I have noticed a weakness of gel pens, and it's a very small one. But I did recently get because I want to do more like hiking stuff, and I just want to get out and like sketch more. I bought like a weatherproof notebook, and gel pens don't
suck.
They don't work on that.
Oh, they're abysmal because they never bond.
Because it rubs right off.
Yep.
We will have to be a little bit careful with this.
Whoa.
Because as I mentioned in one of the videos, it would be very cool to start a currency collection.
Is that a Kuwaiti dinar?
This is half a Kuwaiti dinar.
That is it hold on. May I? Is it really?
I don't know what the watermarks on it would be.
Hold on.
And frankly, it looks right.
Oh, it's a Tunisian
Aha.
dinar. I've never seen one before.
Here,
half dinar.
here is 10 francs.
Oh my God! So you are starting an actual currency collection.
And this looks like it's Greek.
Yeah,
5 something.
Sure.
I'm sure.
Oh, that's clearly Greek.
Yeah, that's Greek.
Oh, that's clearly Greek.
I don't know what this is, but it does say Saudi Arabian
it's a
Monetary
real.
Agency.
Yeah. No, these I've actually used.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Though, when you're a kid, they're bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, everything is bigger when you're a kid because you're tiny.
Yes, exactly.
And then there's a note with this one as well.
Wow.
To Isyander and Koda, I just wanted to thank you both for being such awesome people, encouraging everyone to live their best life. When I found your channel, I was in a dark place mentally, and you guys have helped me get out of that hell and actually enjoy my life. Thank you both for being you and encouraging everyone to do the same. This community is one of the best I've ever seen, and while I may not talk much in the Discord, I'm so glad I get to be a part of it all the same, and I could not be happier to share a birthday with a YouTube channel. Wait, really? Oh, that's sick.
Happy birthday then.
Happy birthday to the 11th Legion. May the Emperor's light guide us to a brighter tomorrow.
Hell yeah.
Raziel. Also, there's a PS. For Isyander, buttered up and in their birthday suit. Which Primarch...
At least he didn't go with the standard issue one.
See, that's funny because I don't think YouTube has ever touched those because it's a Patreon bit.
Okay, go on.
So for people who are not in the Patreon, they do not understand. Buttered up and in their birthday suit, which Primarch would give the best present and who would give the worst, excluding Kurz for fairly obvious reasons.
Who would give the best and who would give the worst?
Yes.
Sanguinius would, because he'd make something and it'd be heartfelt. Kurz, have you ever wanted skin as a gift? No.
Excluding Kurz?
Oh!
For obvious reasons.
Ah, too easy.
Yeah, too easy.
Worst gift.
Gilliman, because I figure Gilliman has a standard issue gift for everyone.
No.
Like, have you seen...
He's an actually good statesman is the problem.
Yeah, you got me
I would
there.
say... Oh, no, hold on. Vulcan would be the best because he'd hand make something and he cares about you. So, sorry, Sanguinius, you lost. Sucks. I would say probably Perturabo because who's ever wanted a maze for Christmas? Like,
Yep.
Like, here, I've put you in a maze. Why would you do this? Because it builds character, and that's the best gift I could give you. Bye. So, yeah, Perturabo.
Yep.
Yeah, Perturabo.
Perturabo is the
Dorn
worst.
push-ups for Christmas also suck. So, they're good for you, but...
The magic pain glove. It worked for me. I came out just fine.
Yeah, pretty much.
And a stack of hardtack for you as well.
Oh, yeah, and a stack of hardtack as well.
This one...
I can see through paper because it's not... What am I looking at?
It's a note. I did not read it all in the.
There's art attached to this. I think we'll have to put at least the art up.
To Isyander and Koda, greetings from the almost exact opposite side of the United States, Central Florida. At the time I am writing to you, it is almost but not quite Christmas. For Christmas, I was gifted an Age of Sigmar Bloodthirster kit. Although it is not quite Angron, I'm sure your average Imperial Guardsman couldn't or wouldn't be able to tell have time to process the difference before being blended into a nice pate. So, close enough. As I do not play Chaos, I intend to paint it to the best of my meager abilities and send it over to y'all.
Aww.
In the meantime, please enjoy my shitty drawings of you two. Of course, this was written with a G2, with a pilot G2.
They don't pay me about it. It's just my favorite pen. Like, I want to be clear.
Break-dancing Imperial Knight. P.S. Day ? Of the Turtle Crusade.
Oh, God. At some point, we'll have to.
I love the great of all time hat they've included.
They included the hat. I'm happy.
Oh, that's awesome. If the painting is as good as the shitty drawings, then I can't wait to see this. The drawings are awesome.
That's my one complaint about the current studios. I can't show off the drawings you guys send. Some of you are very talented.
There's like
a painting. They do not fit in the standard issue box.
There's a painting up there from one of the patrons that we have not been able to display because it doesn't fit into...
It genuinely chaps my hide.
But it doesn't fit into the standard issue boxes that we have.
Yeah. It bums me.
Yeah. This note is for what is in the green bag.
Oh, the green bag. It's the green. Sorry.
Very Christmas.
Can
Wanted
I-
to share one of my favorite settings. Thanks for all your videos from Hunting for Vodka.
Considering they typed that all without messing anything up, the hunt has not been too successful.
No, well,
What?
I guess my hunt for vodka is successful because I messed up most of them.
Oh, okay. Well, you succeeded.
I succeeded. And
And
this
they
is,
got it in 0.7. Sorry, like stationary gig.
this is the one
That's the
of the
size I
things
use all the time.
that I saw in the
Whoa, what's that?
the post office box or the post office, and I screamed.
Book.
Book.
Oh!
I don't know where they found this.
Whoa!
I have not been able
That's
to
so
find
cool.
it in print anywhere.
The Lancer book.
You say you're introducing me to this setting. I've already been introduced. I've been hunting for this book for a while. I really appreciate the gift.
Oh, that's so good. Oh, that's so good.
I honestly want to rip and tear into it right now.
We'll rip and tear after, because I want to get to writing. Thank you guys so much for the Christmas gifts, as always. And thank you guys for tuning in for another full year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's 2 now.
Yeah.
Dos.
Damn, time flies
I know, right? When you're having fun.
when you're having.
We will see you next week for one of the 4 ages. I don't know which one, but one of them. As always, thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you for being you.
The Age of Sigma.
I can never leave the studio happy. I can never leave the studio happy, and it's your fault.